What happens when a seemingly perfect life is turned upside down by the influence of a charismatic stranger? This is the story of Lori Vallow, a devoted mother whose world unraveled the moment she met Chad Daybell. Lori was once a vibrant woman, nurturing her children, Tylee and JJ, with love and care. But everything changed when she crossed paths with a man whose teachings would alter her reality forever. Chad, a self-proclaimed prophet and author of Doomsday novels, spoke of a world on the brink of destruction, where the battle between good and evil played out in the most shocking ways. Intrigued and captivated by his words, Lori found herself drawn into a world of extreme beliefs, where she would come to view her children as obstacles to her new destiny. What began as a search for spiritual enlightenment quickly spiraled into a chilling descent into a nightmare. Lori became convinced that her children were possessed, calling them zombies, and believing they were no longer her beloved kids but threats to her new path. With each passing day, her grasp on reality slipped further away, fueled by Chad's insidious influence. As Tylee and JJ vanished from the lives of those who loved them, questions began to surface. How could a mother turn against her own flesh and blood? What dark motivations lurked beneath the surface of her newfound beliefs? Join us as we uncover the harrowing truth behind the Vallow Daybell murders, the truth marked by manipulation, betrayal, and the catastrophic consequences of blind faith. This chilling narrative will challenge everything you thought you knew about love, loyalty, and the fragility of the human mind. Stay with us as we delve into the real story, revealing the shocking events that led to the tragic fate of two innocent children. The events that would unfold began in 2019, a year that would forever alter the lives of many. In the small, picturesque town of Rexburg, Idaho, nestled against the backdrop of the majestic Rocky Mountains, the community appeared tranquil. But beneath this serene facade, a storm was brewing, one that would culminate in a shocking tragedy. At the center of this disturbing tale was Lori Vallow, a mother with a complicated past. Lori was a woman who exuded warmth, a caring mother to her two children, Tylee Ryan, a spirited teenager, and JJ Vallow, a sweet boy with special needs who brought joy to everyone around him. Together, they formed a close-knit family that many admired. However, Lori's life was far from perfect. The shadow of her tumultuous marriage to Charles Vallow loomed large over her. Charles, a hard-working businessman, had devoted himself to his family, but as time passed, their relationship became strained. Lori's shifting beliefs and increasing obsession with spiritual matters began to create a rift between them. They struggled to connect as Lori delved deeper into her newfound interests, culminating in a divorce that left both parties reeling. Enter Chad Daybell, a man who seemed to possess a magnetic charm. An author of apocalyptic novels, he had developed a following among those intrigued by his views on the end of times. Chad was married with children of his own, but his marriage was deteriorating, leading him to seek out like-minded individuals who would embrace his beliefs without question. Lori's breakdown with Charles was a pivotal moment in her life. As their marriage crumbled, she found solace in the teachings of Chad Daybell, who preached of a coming apocalypse and spoke of a world divided between light and dark. He painted a picture of a reality where the chosen few would be spared, while others, those he deemed dark, would meet dire consequences. This dangerous ideology struck a chord with Lori, who felt empowered and alive in this new worldview. The allure of Chad's teachings became irresistible. Lori began to envision herself as a key player in this unfolding drama, a warrior in the battle against evil. She became increasingly isolated, distancing herself from friends and family who expressed concern over her radical beliefs. As Lori and Chad's relationship blossomed, they would often share late-night conversations filled with fervor and passion, further entwining their lives. Together, they fostered a belief system that rejected conventional views, especially when it came to Lori's children. Amid this chaos, Chad Daybell's presence loomed larger than life. He became a guiding force, encouraging Lori to embrace her destiny as a warrior against evil, one that involved removing obstacles in her path, even if that meant eliminating her own children. The idyllic community of Rexburg, with its charming streets and tight-knit friendships, was unaware of the darkness taking root within the Vallow household. Neighbors noticed the family's growing distance, but the true horror of what was to come remained hidden, waiting for the moment when it would be revealed. As Laurie and Chad's bond solidified, a chilling question emerged: how far would they go to fulfill their shared beliefs? The answer would shake the very foundation of their lives and leave an indelible mark on the hearts of those who loved Tylee and JJ. As Laurie Vallow's relationship with Chad Daybell deepened, so did the influence of his apocalyptic teachings on her psyche. Chad's beliefs revolved around a cosmic battle between good and evil, where certain individuals were labeled as light or dark. For Laurie, this binary worldview became an all-consuming lens through which she began to interpret her reality, particularly concerning her children. It was during this period of transformation that Laurie began to refer to Tylee and JJ as zombies. This disturbing terminology indicated a belief that her children were no longer themselves, but rather vessels inhabited by malevolent spirits. The chilling implications of this mindset cannot be overstated. Laurie was now perceiving her own flesh and blood as threats to her newly constructed identity. In conversations with Chad, Laurie expressed her conviction that she had been chosen for a divine purpose, and her children stood in the way of that destiny. Each mention of the term zombie served as a chilling reminder of her distorted reality, one that would eventually culminate in tragic consequences. As she grew more entrenched in Chad's ideology, her grasp on reality slipped further away, leading her to justify increasingly extreme actions in the name of a perceived higher calling. Family and friends began to notice alarming changes in Laurie's behavior. Interviews with those who once knew her reveal a woman unrecognizable from the devoted mother they had loved. They described a woman who once cherished her children and sought to protect them, now consumed by a fixation on Chad and his doomsday prophecies. A close friend recalled, Laurie used to talk about how important her kids were to her. But then she became distant. She seemed to lose interest in everything that mattered. Another family member shared, when she met Chad, it was like she was a different person. She didn't want to hear anyone's concerns about him or her beliefs. It was as if she was on a mission that only she could see. These testimonies painted a portrait of a woman who had succumbed to a powerful influence, one that distorted her perception of reality. The shift was not only concerning but deeply troubling, as the people who loved her could sense the dangerous path she was on, even if they could not yet comprehend its full extent. Chad Daybell's writings provided an unsettling glimpse into the mindset that would ultimately drive Laurie to unspeakable acts. In his books, he often explored themes of death, resurrection, and the purification of souls through drastic means. One chilling passage read, "To bring forth a new order, sacrifices must be made. The darkness must be cast out for the light to prevail." Such sentiments echoed in Laurie's actions, foreshadowing the dark choices that lay ahead. As Laurie became more isolated from her loved ones, she found solace in the echo chamber created by Chad's beliefs. Chilling anecdotes from friends described how she would dismiss any criticism of Chad or their teachings, insisting they were on a path to enlightenment. Yet, behind these fervent declarations lay the ominous undercurrent of a mother who was slowly losing her grip on the very essence of her identity. The case took a harrowing turn when investigators, acting on a tip, turned their attention to Chad Daybell's property in Salem, Idaho. After months of searching for Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, law enforcement obtained a search warrant for Chad's home and surrounding grounds. The anticipation hung heavy in the air as officers meticulously scoured the land, searching for any trace of the missing children. What they discovered would send shockwaves through the community and unravel the dark tapestry of deceit woven by Laurie and Chad. On June 9, 2020, authorities unearthed the remains of Tylee and JJ in the backyard of Chad's property. Forensic evidence confirmed their identities, marking a devastating end to a search that had captivated the nation. The details of the discovery were grim. Tylee's remains were found dismembered and burned, while JJ's body was found wrapped in plastic and buried in a shallow grave. The cruelty of their treatment horrified investigators and the public alike, casting a glaring light on the depths of Laurie's and Chad's actions. In the wake of this devastating revelation, family members and friends were left grappling with unbearable grief. Interviews conducted with Tylee and JJ's relatives laid bare the heart-wrenching emotional toll of the loss. They were such beautiful children, full of life and promise, one relative lamented, tears streaming down their face. To think they suffered is more than I can bear. Another family member recalled the desperate search efforts that preceded the discovery, expressing disbelief at how Lori had maintained her facade while the truth lay buried just steps away from her new husband's home. How could she do this? How could a mother betray her children so completely? It's unfathomable, they shared, struggling to comprehend the depths of her betrayal. The heartache was palpable, as loved ones mourned the children's loss while grappling with the realization that the very person who should have protected them had become their greatest threat. As the investigation progressed, the spotlight turned to Alex Cox, Lori's brother, whose involvement in the unfolding tragedy raised new questions. Alex had been a key figure in Lori's life, providing support and assistance during her tumultuous separation from Charles Vallow. However, his role took a more sinister turn as evidence suggested he had played a part in the events leading to Tylee and JJ's deaths. Investigators uncovered that Alex had a history of violent behavior, including a previous altercation with Charles Vallow that raised red flags about his temperament. Furthermore, his actions in the days leading up to the children's disappearance began to draw scrutiny. Surveillance footage captured Alex's truck near Chad Daybell's property, coinciding with the timeline of the children's deaths. Interviews with law enforcement officials revealed that Alex had made statements suggesting he was ready to do whatever it took to protect his sister and her beliefs. He was fiercely loyal to Lori, one investigator noted. But it was clear that his loyalty had a dark edge. The lengths he would go to support her became increasingly concerning. The revelation of Alex's potential involvement added another layer of complexity to the case, raising questions about whether he had been an accomplice in the tragic events or if he was merely another pawn in Chad and Lori's disturbing game. As the narrative unfolds, powerful visuals will immerse viewers in the gravity of the situation. Footage of the search for Tylee and JJ will play, capturing the frantic efforts of law enforcement and volunteers desperately scouring fields and wooded areas, all in the hope of finding the missing children alive. As the dust settled on the shocking discoveries at Chad Daybell's property, authorities moved swiftly to bring both Chad and Lori to justice. In early 2020, law enforcement arrested Chad Daybell, charging him with 2 felony counts of concealment of evidence and 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. The arrest was a significant milestone, but the revelation of the children's remains weighed heavily on the community and the nation. Lori Vallow was arrested shortly after Chad, facing an array of charges, including conspiracy to commit murder and the murder of her children. As the legal proceedings commenced, the details of the case began to unfold in courtrooms across Idaho, captivating audiences who were desperate for answers. Each day brought new revelations about the couple's twisted beliefs and the impact of their radical ideologies on their family. In a haunting moment during the trials, prosecutors painted a chilling picture of the events leading to Tylee and JJ's deaths. Evidence presented included Lori's text messages, where she expressed her belief in her children being zombies, along with statements made to friends and family that alluded to her extreme doomsday mindset. The courtroom listened in silence as the gravity of the situation was laid bare before them. While the arrests provided a semblance of closure, numerous questions lingered regarding the full extent of Lori and Chad's beliefs and the events that transpired leading up to the tragic murders. Investigators continued to piece together the timeline of events, trying to understand how Lori had transitioned from a loving mother to someone capable of such unimaginable actions. What drove Lori to embrace Chad's teachings so completely? What was the nature of their relationship that led to this catastrophic outcome? Many wondered whether there were additional victims or further dark secrets that had yet to come to light. The media speculated endlessly about the influence of Chad's Doomsday novels and whether they had been a catalyst for Lori's transformation. Lori's defense attorneys attempted to argue that she was not in her right mind, claiming that her beliefs about the children being possessed had taken a firm grip on her reality. Yet, as the trials progressed, it became increasingly apparent that the depths of their ideology were tied to the tragic fate of Tylee and JJ. The tragedy reverberated beyond the immediate family of Lori and Chad. Extended family members found themselves grappling with profound grief and a sense of betrayal. Interviews with relatives reflected the devastating impact of the events on their lives. "It's like a nightmare that won't end," one family member shared, voice trembling. "We lost two beautiful children, and will never understand how their mother could do this." The community in Rexburg, once known for its peaceful atmosphere and strong family values, was forever changed. Many residents expressed feelings of disbelief and horror at the events that had unfolded. "We never imagined something like this could happen here," a neighbor recalled, shaking their head. "It shattered our sense of security." Moreover, the broader societal implications of the case echoed across the nation. The Vallow Daybell murders sparked discussions about the dangers of radical beliefs and the impact of apocalyptic thinking. Experts weighed in, warning of the potential consequences when individuals become isolated within fringe belief systems that dehumanize others. The chilling reality was that Lori and Chad's story was not an isolated incident, it was a reflection of a larger issue that could arise in various communities. As the resolution of the case drew near, the emotional weight of the story remained heavy. Family interviews continued to highlight the pain and loss experienced by those who loved Tylee and JJ. "They deserved a chance at life," a grieving family member said, tears in their eyes. "This darkness took them away from us, and I can't find peace knowing what happened." The parents of the children who had once played and laughed filled the hearts of many with joy now stood as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the need for vigilance against harmful ideologies. In conclusion, the Vallow Daybell case serves as a sobering reminder of the power of belief and the potential for darkness to reside within those we trust most. As the trials continue to unfold, the echoes of Tylee and JJ's story resonate, urging us all to seek truth and understanding in a world fraught with uncertainty. The real story is not just about the tragic end of two innocent lives, it is a cautionary tale about the human capacity for both love and betrayal, a truth that will linger in the hearts and minds of all who follow this haunting case. As we draw this chilling narrative to a close, we invite you to reflect on the haunting questions that linger in the aftermath of the Vallow Daybell case. What do you think drove Lori to such drastic actions? Was she truly a victim of Chad's manipulation? How could someone who once loved her children so fiercely become involved in such a dark and tragic outcome? Consider the belief system that led her to refer to her own children as zombies. What kind of mindset must one have to reach that conclusion? Were there signs along the way that might have pointed to a different outcome? Moreover, what can we learn from this heartbreaking story about the power of influence and the dangers of radical beliefs? If you found this case compelling and want to stay updated on more true crime stories that delve into the complexities of human behavior and morality, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We aim to uncover the truth behind each case, shining a light on stories that need to be told. Like this video if you felt a connection to Tylee and JJ's tragic story, and share it with friends or loved ones who might also find this case unsettling yet important. Your support helps us continue bringing awareness to real-life events that shape our world. We encourage you to join the conversation in the comments below. Share your thoughts, theories, or even personal experiences related to the themes we explored today. How do you think society can better protect those who may fall under the influence of harmful ideologies? Let your voice be heard. Together, we can reflect on the lessons from this tragedy and seek understanding in the face of darkness.